Football is a 20th century technological struggle.
And what I seen was this whole raft of people a-setting on these two banks and looking at one another across this pretty little green cow pasture.
Football has hitting, clipping, spearing, blocking, punting, late hitting, unnecessary roughness, and personal fouls.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Stanley News and Press, Brian Carter, Carter Video Services, and we're here tonight at Albemarle High School to see the 43rd meeting between the Bulldogs and the Colts. Always a fun inter-county rivalry matchup. We see Albemarle warming up behind us, the home team. They are 0-1 on the season, hosted Thomasville last week and lost 16-0. The Bulldogs, probably one of the more veteran teams in terms of returning players coming back this season. I got a chance to see them in a scrimmage against West Charlotte, and they looked very quick and very good in that scrimmage. Now, one team that has not had a game yet this season because of the weather is the opponent on the other side of the field, the West Stanley Colts. West did not get to play their game against Piedmont because of the torrential rains from thunderstorms that we had last week. Another team that's lost a lot, but the guy to look for is the D1 recruit Jordan Poole, the running back. He's going to be relied on very heavily by this West Stanley offense. We'll be back with the head coaches on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Back on the pregame show on Stanley County Monday Night Football with West Stanley head coach Brett Morton. Well, Coach, you did get a chance to play your game last week against Piedmont. How has that been kind of transitioning this week to getting ready to play Albemarle?
We don't have that first game test, so, that is a disadvantage, but, it kept us a little fresher for this week, hopefully.
Talk a little bit about this matchup against Albemarle. What do you feel like West Stanley can do well against the Bulldogs?
I feel like we should be able to run the ball. I feel like we should be able to do what we're supposed to do on offense. They have some speed on defense. They do rally to the ball. So, it's going to be filling out what they do, versus what we can do.
And, of course, the D1 recruit Jordan Poole is a focus of this offense. How talented is he right now, and how talented do you think he can – how much more can he progress, do you think?
I think the sky's the limit for him, to be honest with you. He really works hard. He takes pride in what he does, and it's just going to be how much he wants it.
What are the keys to a victory tonight for West?
We've got to take care of the ball. We got to run the ball. We've got to execute. We got to tackle well on defense.
Thank you very much, Coach. Best of luck tonight. We'll be back with Albemarle head coach Richard Davis. Back on the pregame show on Stanley County Monday Night Football with Albemarle head coach Richard Davis. Coach, let's talk a little bit first about last week against Thomasville. Good defensive effort. Like you said, a couple of missed tackles here and there kind of made the difference. Talk a little bit about just that game and your overall impressions of your team.
Well, we did a fantastic job moving the ball from 20 to 20. We just didn't do a good job of finishing drives, and that's been our focus this week, like finishing. We're like one block away from breaking long runs, just offensive execution in general. All right.
How do you feel like Albemarle and West Stanley sort of match up offense versus defense?
Well, they got a special player over there. We got to take away him, limit the big plays. Don't fall asleep in the secondary, give up nothing cheap in the passing game because, they'll run first team like we are. Mm-hmm. So it's going to come down to who can execute the most big plays in passing game.
It sort of always comes down to that, though, for you, because I know that your running game is always solid last week as well. But just being able to get that extra sort of balanced effort, you've always talked about balance.
Well, and we had some opportunity to get some things going in the passing game last week. We just didn't capitalize on them. I think we had like 4 or 5 drops, so we got to clean that up, Yeah. I want to chalk it up the first game jitter, so hopefully we'll come out a little more relaxed tonight and make things happen.
Well, and you've had a game under your belt, too, where West Stanley hasn't, so I think that gives Albemarle a little bit of an advantage, as well as being on your home field.
It's always good to play at home in front of your home crowd, so hopefully they can get us over the top tonight.
What are the keys to a victory tonight for Albemarle?
Well, we got to play well in the trenches. We got to execute offensively, and we got to do a good job defensively, like tackling Poole, limiting his run in the game, and don't give up anything cheap in the passing game.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Best of luck tonight. Albemarle, West Stanley, number 43 between the two teams. We'll see what happens. Kickoff is just moments away. Here we go.
2, 1.
Are you ready?
Yep, we got it.
All right, tell me.
Go.
Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Stanley News and Press. Brian Carter, Carter Video Services. How is the view from outside, sir?
It's a beautiful night. Sun going down in the western sky. Yeah, it looks like a great night for football. We don't have to deal with the rain and thunder and lightning and the other things we had to deal with last week.
No question about it, and that obviously has got to be going to make life a little easier for everybody involved. It's a little warm tonight as well. I know it's got to be warm outside there.
Now I like your voice, Charles. And I'll tame it just a little bit.
So West Stanley has won the toss and will receive, and will be going right to left across your television screen. Learn to take the heat because you're about to get beat. That's what the sign says for Albemarle. And I'm trying to grab my binoculars so I can read. This is what happens when you get old.
Your eyesight goes, your knees go.
I think his mic needs to be right next to his mouth because I can't hear it. And here come the West Stanley Colts onto the field.
Let's go. Let's get your Bulldogs out on the field. Let's go.
All right, here are your Bulldogs.
There he is. Now we can hear you. Sorry, folks, had a little audio problem there. We're working it out. Here come the Bulldogs. 0-1 on the season for Albemarle. And for West Stanley, of course, is their first game of the season.
Yeah, we'll get a look at the tandem team of Josh and Julia Smith.
On the one side, of course, and then on the other side, Jordan Poole. It's going to be a steady diet of the junior. He's actually got 4 Division I offers, Brian, and
wow.
He is a very highly touted prospect, to say the least. Well, certainly, temperatures are a little different from last week, though.
Oh yeah, it was quite pleasant last week.
I think Pleasant has finally just left the building.
Yeah.
If you want the truth.
But the change in the weather, well, it's going to get fall here pretty soon. Couldn't come soon enough with the horrendous temperatures we've had this year.
So this is the 43rd meeting, as we mentioned earlier, between all-time. It's 23-18-1 in favor of Albemarle, but West Stanley has won 5 in a row, 4 in a row on the field, and a 5th game that was forfeited. So Albemarle has not beaten West Stanley in 6 years then.
Wow. So we're getting ready for this kickoff.
Monte Hall is going to be doing the kicking duties. Jordan Poole is to the near side, and number 21, that's Austin Stoker,
is on the far sideline for West Stanley. The 19th season of Stanley County Monday Night Football and the 43rd meeting between the Bulldogs and the Colts. Let's roll. High end over end kick. It'll be taken by Stoker at the 2. He goes straight up the middle. Big hole. The hole closes quickly, and he gets down around the 30, about the 37.
Bulldog kickoff returned by West Stanley to the 37-yard line.
So a good return and some decent field position for West Stanley to start this game.
Yeah, let's see what kind of offense we're going to see here from West Stanley.
They, of course, graduated their quarterback last year, number 3, Nick Parker. So number 1, Jordan Manshak, steps up from the JV team. He will have Logan Little and Jordan Poole in the backfield.
Oh, we have a face mask penalty already.
Oh, so that
Albemarle.
So that was sort of a late flag. I did not see that flag.
I did not see that either, so that'll give him 15 more yards. Close to Bulldog territory.
So let's see if it's a 5 or a 15. I did not see if.
Yeah, that's up in the air. Let's see what it is.
Oh, it's going to be 15.
Oh, and there.
It will mark it down to the
Bulldog territory.
To the Albemarle 48. So it'll be 1st and 10 for West Stanley inside Albemarle territory at the 48. The H-back is number 15, Daniel Hansen. Poole will come in motion. Drew Albemarle off sides. It was a straight dive.
Yeah,
and it's going to be another
55.
penalty. And that was Monte Hall. Sort of, he just jumped the gun a little bit. It'll be 1st and 5, and the clock was running.
Well, you know, last week, Charles, you know how it was with North Stanley. The penalties were just
absolutely. The penalties absolutely killed North Stanley in that game.
Yeah.
It'll be now 1st and 5 from the double wing set. Poole in motion this time, and he's going to get the toss. He's going to cut up the middle. 40, now 35, bounce to the outside, 35, 20, speed to the outside. One off the beat. He's got the angle. He's got the touchdown. Touchdown, West Stanley Colts. No flags.
I don't see flags.
That's a 43-yard touchdown run for Jordan Poole. Right off the bat, exactly what Coach Davis had said that Albemarle. Clock is still running for some reason. Now 9:41.
We had clock issues last week, didn't we? Clock has stopped with 9:38, 38, I think. Some of the bulbs are burned out.
And now it looks like West may be going for 2. They're lined up for that. Now we get a reset. There is no play clock at Albemarle, so we are not able to. There's no play clock on the field, so we will be watching the back judge. They will go for 2. 2 wideouts to the far side. It's a keeper from Manshak. He's going to have to hurry, and he is going to run out of real estate, and he goes backwards, and the try will be no good.
So that was
with 9:23 remaining. It'll be West Stanley 6, Albemarle nothing. We're back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. So West Stanley immediately takes the lead. The first time that Jordan actually touches the football. He runs 43 yards, and boy, did he have some speed on the end of that run.
Oh, yeah, that was incredible speed.
Now number 2, Caleb Faree will kick a little squibbing kickoff taken at the 32 by one of the up men. That's number 11, Evan Benson. And Benson will get to about the 35, maybe about the 35.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Sort of a short kick.
As the fans are talking about the clock management here.
Well, it's a situation we're trying to work on at the moment, so we will put the ball at the 35. We may have to get an adjustment on the game clock, which is what I think the conversation may be about with Coach Davis down here at the near sideline.
As the Bulldogs are taking a knee here.
Certainly a much warmer night tonight. West Stanley could not have started any better, though, considering that this is their first live game action non-scrimmage. And the first thing they do is not even get a first down, but just get the touchdown. Okay, so we're ready to go now. 8:59 left, opening quarter. West with the early 6-0 lead. Antonio Burns, number 8, is the quarterback. Looking to throw. He's going deep. He's got a man open, too, and it's caught at the 25-yard line. What a great catch by Josh Smith.
Josh Smith.
And we said that if there was going to be a part of the game where Albemarle could make an impact, there it is right there. And what a great catch. That was behind Smith, and he had to turn around and get that one.
That was a circus catch.
Beautiful catch. Beautiful pitch and catch, just right on the money. And now the Bulldogs, as we talked to Coach earlier, one of the problems was finishing drives. We'll see if the Bulldogs are able to do such. Now Josh Smith will come in motion. The give is to Julius Smith. And Julius, no thing doing. Leading the charge, 52, Travis Wilson, along with several others. And Julius is going to lose about 4 yards. And it'll bring up second down at 14. So good penetration by the right side of the West Stanley defensive line. They've got 8 really in the box to try to stop the run. Gonna run a little option, and will keep it, and Burns spins his way down to about the 21-yard line.
Oh, that was a tricky play. It faked me out, Charles.
A gain of about, we'll give him 9 yards on the play. It'll bring up third down and about 5. So a critical third down here for Albemarle early in this game. 2 wide receivers to the far side of the field this time. Fakes, now looks over the middle, and it's dropped. Ooh, and what a pop. Jordan Poole.
Late hit.
Late, delivered after the play on Josh Smith.
No flags.
Well, there is a flag down.
There is a flag.
No, there is a flag down.
That was pretty obvious. I was right on top of that, Charles.
So let's see if it is a late hit. It was just a little slant pattern, and he was open, dropped the football, and then turned around and saw a freight train hit him.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Oh, it's going to be holding against West Stanley, and that should be a first down as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts the ball is actually down to the 11-yard line, and that will be a first down just outside first and goal territory.
There's a little miscommunication with Julius.
Well, I think they were probably running the read option. Not to disagree with you, Brian, but you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. But probably trying to run a little read option there. And that's one of those things where you have to wait till the very last second to whether or not you need, you either keep the ball or you're going to give it to your running back. I'm bringing up second down and 9. It's under 7 minutes now. Wide receivers to either side. Snaps a little high, and Smith got past one guy. He's got past 2 guys, still on his feet, juking and jiving, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Albemarle Bulldogs. What a great run by number 20, the senior Julius Smith.
Oh, that was a great shake and bake play. It looked like a Antonio Williams move.
Absolutely, that's a good reference. I agree. Mm-hmm. Very Cam Davis too, a little bit. Just being able to move laterally and making people miss. He made several Colts miss on that play. Now number 40, Angel Cuevas, in for the extra point.
Let's see if we can tack on the extra point here and tie this game up.
Not quite yet getting close to the end of the play clock, but the snap is up. Kick is up, and I think that kick might be good. It is, and Albemarle takes an early 7-6 lead, 6:42 left in the first quarter.
West Stanley 6, your Bulldogs 7.
We're back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Stanley News and Press, Brian Carter, Carter Video Services. This one goes off the side of the foot of, I believe it was Hall again, and it's going to come out to, I believe, I'm guessing 35-40. You know, it's been so long I've forgotten now. Nonetheless. And they will mark it indeed at the 35. And that's where the Colts will take over first down. So dueling rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
And we've got offense already in this game.
And we have that critical 1-point deficit that could come out back to bite you at the end.
So 1st and 10 now for the Colts from the 35. From the double wing set. Straight up the middle.
Oh, that looked like a horse collar.
Logan Little.
Yeah, to Austin Stoker.
And it's funny you should mention that. Like I said, I was at some scrimmages, and they did talk about how the horse collar can be it doesn't have to be right up high. It can be a little lower on the jersey and pulled back, and it's still considered a horse collar tackle.
I think that I agree with that.
And I think anything for player safety is probably, life is just not going to be easy for defense no matter what it is. Second down now and 2.
This isn't the 70s anymore.
It's Poole, and this time he gets stacked up on the left side of the Albemarle line. I believe Adrian Little was in there along with Julius Smith and maybe even 24 Zion Truesdale, I believe, on the end. And West working very quickly up to the line for third down. And no gain on the play will make it third down and 2.
Down, let's go.
Fans starting to file in a little bit now. The sun is starting to head behind the trees. First down and more this time as Logan Little will get tackled around the 48.
West Stanley rush, good for first down.
Just a little veer off the left side. Good for 6 yards and a first down. So each team has scored a touchdown.
Yeah, this shows to be not a boring game.
We have an official timeout just for a second. I think we may have an equipment problem with one of Albemarle's players, just Jaquavius Simon.
And adjust his helmet a bit. But he'll have to sit out this play.
And it's Poole this time right side. What a block he got in front of him.
Just pushing the pack.
Just a huge block. I was trying to see. I didn't catch the number of the block, but it really opened up a hole and allowed Poole to get down to the 45.
Man?
What's that? I'm sorry?
Say, who was that young man?
I didn't honestly catch the number. I want to say it was if I had to guess, it was the right tackle. Poole hesitated a little bit in that motion, now trying to get to the outside.
And does get to the outside.
And he's got a first down and more. And West Stanley is going to be very happy with runs like that just keep the ball moving down the field, moving the chains, and moving the clock.
Well, brought down by number 55.
That is Monte Hall.
Monte
Hall.
Okay.
And we have a penalty. I didn't catch what the call was, but
well, let's just check that penalty.
it may be holding.
Penalty against
That's exactly what it is.
So I'll take 10 yards away.
And honestly, it's not just 10 yards anymore because now it's 10 plus when it's a spot foul like that. So it actually moves the ball 14 yards back from where that play stopped at the 35. It moves it to the 49 and second down and 8. Straight up the middle, and Adrian Little on the tackle.
Tackled by a plethora.
You always like to steal that line before I get a chance to. Logan Little.
I got to it this
and
week.
It was only 3. 3 is
week.
not a plethora. I'm telling you right now, 3 is not a plethora.
We got to go 4 or 5.
Now you got to have at least 5 or 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a gain of 3, and it brings up third down now and 5. 2:44. Very fast first quarter.
Yeah, the action's been.
That's when you have runs like that. That just keeps the clock running nice and easy. Double wing set once again. And going to toss it this time. Nice tackle on the outside, though.
42.
42 on the tackle. That's Gage Dennis. It was a toss sweep to Cole Carter.
Wow, nice tackle.
And no gain on the play. And then this brings up an interesting situation, but it looks like West will punt.
Huh.
West is at least in punt formation. Connor Tucker going to be punting, and Josh Smith standing about his 15-yard line. We'll see how much pressure Albemarle brings, or if they try to set a return up. They'll bring a little inside pressure. Punt away is a very low punt and just kind of runs down inside the 10. Does the job, though, down to the 7. Clock stops with 1:42 left.
And Julius Smith was going to, he jumped on the ball just to make sure it didn't, because it was taking a definite West Stanley bounce.
Well, and not only that, because it, as you say, though, it was taking that bounce, but it also, you don't want that one to go into the end zone either, because then it turns it into about a 20-yard punt, and this way it keeps Albemarle sort of pinned back in their own end. Oh, high snap this time. Julius trying to get around the outside and a nice open field tackle.
Yeah, and that was number
I believe that was
40.
probably 40, Seth Eford, the junior.
That was exactly right. So I'll bring up 2nd and 9 with 1:22 to go in this first quarter.
Well, you see, Brian, you can kind of see the philosophy that Albemarle wants. They want to get that ball out in space and with their speed. Let's see how much pressure West will bring this time. High snap again. Oh, the ball bobbling, and Smith just does hang on to it, but he's going to lose a couple more yards. He will actually lose 3 yards back to the 6. That'll bring up 3rd and 12 in the final 45 seconds.
The Bulldogs taking their time.
Third and 12 now. They've got about 20 seconds left. Tosses it to Julius. Julius gets to the outside, flies through the air, but again, another great play by Seth Eford. And that's going to bring up
number 40. He was all over it.
4th down. I think we also may have a penalty marker down as well. Clock stopped with 15.7 seconds left. Yeah, there is a penalty marker. It's standing right behind Josh Smith's feet.
And they're having a discussion here, but I think it is going against Albemarle.
Well, and it's also the question of, does West even want to take this penalty, just considering?
I think I would decline it.
And it's personal foul against Albemarle.
Penalty on the Bulldogs.
And it does seem like they're going to take the penalty. So they will mark the ball back to the 5. It have to be about.
Charles, I think I would have declined.
I honestly, I think that maybe. Yeah, they have declined the penalty. That just made. The more I looked at that, the more I thought, why in the world would you take that penalty? So it'll make it 4th down and 8.
So there's got to be a mistake there.
Yeah, I believe there might have been just the slightest miscommunication.
So regardless, if West Stanley can return this, they'll have excellent field position. Excellent.
Yes, Smithers.
Yes, Smithers.
Punt gets away. It's not going to be fielded. He had a fleeting thought of doing that.
Well, that got him out of trouble right there.
It actually did, because it could have been far worse than it actually turned out to.
Ladies and gentlemen,
rolls down to the 44 with 1.1 seconds left.
Albemarle High School Booster Club for their brand new uniforms. Please join me in thanking the Booster Club.
Brand new uniforms, huh?
Yes, I heard that.
Those can't be cheap.
No, I can assure you from the limited time that I've had in the business, uniforms, anything football equipment related, not cheap. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. We will be back with more in the second quarter on Stanley County Monday Night Football.
Your Albemarle Bulldogs 7.
All right. Back here with the Albemarle Bulldogs with a 7-6 lead over the West Stanley Colts. Ready to start the second quarter. Yeah, West Stanley Colts have it. 2nd and 2 on the 47. And let's see what they can do.
They'll toss it to Poole. Poole avoids one tackle and another. He's got a first down, and if they give him the forward progress, and they will, at the 46.
First down at West Stanley.
So Poole just got just enough of a forward push.
Oh, folks, we'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Joshua Lovings.
Joshua Lovings, yes, thank you. He's our assistant tonight. We
had a little
technical
difficulty at the beginning.
Yes, it was all his fault.
Let's blame it on.
I'm blaming it on you. I'm sorry.
No,
that's a bus I'm throwing
Joshua.
you under.
He's young.
Yeah.
He'll start over.
Exactly. 72 yards rushing for West Stanley in the first quarter. 55 of it coming from Jordan Poole. First down, what blocking to the side this time? 35-25 and out of bounds around the 23. Almost a horse collar was not. Logan Little. I'll tell you what, Logan Little is starting to step up. And if there's one thing that West Stanley's offense does need, is it needs a second and third and more options, because they can't just give it to Poole all the time. He's going to have some rest.
It's good to have maybe a double threat.
Oh, absolutely. The more you can have that, the better things are.
One-dimensional.
Now Manchak wants to throw. Rolls, throws, and it's complete. 10-5 and down around the 5-yard line.
Wow.
Number 81, Brett Morton on the catch.
Excellent execution.
Pass complete down to the Bulldog 5-yard line.
Well, what Coach Davis had actually talked about in our pregame. He said that you have to be ready for them when they throw it, because they will throw it.
So far, pretty accurate.
Poole comes in motion. Instead, straight up the middle.
And
that's as easy a touchdown as you're going to get. Logan Little straight up the middle.
Did you see that whole
touchdown? West Stanley Colts. Yeah, absolutely.
kudos to the offensive line of the Colts.
No, they're definitely making a difference. 10 minutes, 30 seconds left.
See, they contemplating going for 2.
And they are going for 2, as you said.
Well, they've already got the momentum.
They may not.
Just go ahead and go with it. Sometimes that's what you have to do, anything you do.
Well, they tried it. They're going to toss it to Little. And Little trying to get to the corner, and he dances his way right across. Boy, he was actually going backwards at one point there.
His feet, but between the pylon there on the right side. Of the pylon.
2-point conversion.
So with 10:30 left in the first half, West Stanley 14, Albemarle 7. We'll be back on Stanley County Monday Night Football.
Don't go anywhere.
Back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Stanley is impressed. Brian Carter, Carter Video Services. Another low kickoff from Faree, picked up at the 23-yard line. Oh, he's got a hole to go. He might go. This is going to be a foot race to the end.
Wow.
Kareem Hewitt, see you later. Touchdown, Albemarle Bulldogs. I don't see a flag on the field.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. No flags.
So he squibbed the kick to about the 23-yard line, but it was what a play just to take it off the deck like that.
I'm telling you. We've got that's power, excitement.
Yep. Hewitt, what a terrific play. And the thing is that he never broke stride, and every good returner, if you see that, when they don't break stride, they just start, they're up to full speed almost immediately.
It's a beautiful
and when you can get that, that's what I'm saying though, is when you get that, that's what makes the difference. Now, Cuevas for the point after. And before the snap, the kick, and everything else, we have penalty markers, and I believe West Stanley may have been offsides. Or they're going to call a false start instead, against Albemarle. So that'll back them up 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, correction, that kickoff was returned by Jaquavius Simon, number 15, Jaquavius Simon.
I thought it was 16 that got that, not 15. Well, we'll have to check and see in just a second. Cuevas again now for a little bit longer version of the point after. And that kick, I believe, is no good, and it is. It hooked it wide to the left.
That brings the score to West Stanley 14,
so it's
Albemarle 13.
So that will leave the game with West Stanley up 14-13. We'll be back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. So a quick correction, it was Jaquavius Simon, number 15. We apologize for that mistake, but we've got that corrected now. And taken by Poole. Poole runs into some traffic around the 38.
Albemarle kickoff returned by West Stanley to the 38-yard line.
They mark the ball at the 38.
A beautiful sunset back here, Charles. Used to see it.
Poole now will come out to the far side, and I don't know what that play exactly was.
We drew him off sides or what?
Poole acted like he was going to run out to the side, and then came back. It was like a flip pitch, if I had to give it a word. But before that, we have a penalty marker. That's an unusual play right there.
Penalty marker on the field.
And it will be offsides against Albemarle. Another penalty against the Bulldogs. It'll make it 1st and 5. But that was an unusual play. I don't know that I've seen that sort of done that often.
Didn't quite work out.
Twins right this time. Little straight up the middle. It stood up and knocked down right at the marker.
They're probably going to key in on Little. They don't want him breaking away again.
It's going to come up maybe about a half yard to a yard short. And bring it up 2nd down and 1. No. And just to get a automatic update on our stats, West Stanley's run game is starting to account for some yards. 114 yards, 13 carries. They're averaging 8.8 per. Of course, that includes the long touchdown runs.
Definitely not boring.
And now we have more penalty markers before this one starts. And we'll see what we have now.
Offsides, Bulldogs.
So that's going to be an automatic first down.
West Stanley, first down.
Move the chains and start the clock with 9:19 to go.
Here's Poole up the middle, breaks a few tackles, still on his feet, got the sideline, one man to beat. There's a flag I saw fly right around the 20. He's in for an apparent touchdown, but we will see what the flag is.
That was a beautiful, beautiful run, but I think that might be coming back. Don't you hate it, Charles, in such a beautiful run like that, and then all that effort for these young men? And
I don't know if I hate it or not, but I'm sure West Stanley fans are less than thrilled. Oh, they're going to wave the flag off.
Oh, they're waving the flag off. Okay. All right.
So if they're waving the flag off, then that's a touchdown.
I would assume so, sir.
Penalty marker waved off the field, touchdown West Stanley.
So that's a 48-yard touchdown run for Poole. And the scores come early and often. 8:56. It's arena football night.
Yeah, we know about that, don't we, Charles? Yeah.
It's Carolina speed all over.
It seems like it. I mean, yes. It seems like it really does. Excitement. I mean, folks who really want to check this game out, regardless of who wins, on Channel 21 and on YouTube, Stanley Community College. I'd like to thank everybody at Stanley Community College, Andre, Michelle, Mark, and all the good people over there.
They're the cast of thousands. 20-13 pending this 2-point conversion attempt. Little straight up the middle. I don't think so.
Nope.
It's too much of a good rhyme to say little up the middle.
Little up the middle.
But,
that's good.
Yeah, I just keep saying, and then suddenly I was like, boy, I've said that about 5 times.
Score to Albemarle 13, West Stanley 20.
So the conversion fails have sort of evened up, and now West Stanley now leads 20-13, 8:56 left. We'll be back. End of run kick. You're not in the stands cheering. Taken at the 20, and he is not going to go. He's still on his feet, actually. I don't know how he stayed on his feet. But
it looked like he had a knee down. See how he didn't.
I don't know how he did not have a knee down. It was. It was number 11. That's Evan Benson.
Yep.
West Stanley kickoff returned by number 11, Evan Benson.
Benson will get the ball out to about the. Well, actually, they're going to give him a loss. He actually picked it up at the 20 and lost 2 yards.
Yeah.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 18.
Let's see if the Bulldogs can answer the Colts here in this second quarter.
So if you thought the numbers for West Stanley running were pretty good, they just got a lot better. 14 carries, 162 yards, 11.6 per carry. Right now, Albemarle only 18 yards on 7 carries. High snap this time, tries to give it to, I believe that might have been number 34 and 33 on the tackle. 34 is Jalukas Hyatt. And
I know how you, I'm glad you can pronounce some of these names.
that's why they pay me the big bucks.
That's true.
What's 100% raised of 0? Never mind. That brings up 2nd down and 7. It was a nice tackle that time by Gavin Hudson, the linebacker. He's a sophomore for West. Split wides this time on 2nd and 7. Hyatt busts across the right sideline. He's going to be close to a first down. I think he might have it. If it's at the 27, that's going to be just short, maybe a half yard or less. 3rd and short. So a big pass set up Albemarle's first touchdown. Their second, of course, coming on special teams. Now looking to try to get something going on this drive midway through the second, down 20-13. Hyatt gets stood up by number 42, Hagen Lawhon. I don't know that he made it either. I think he lost a couple of yards. They'll mark him back to the 26 and maybe even further back. Now 4th and 2, and what do you do?
4th and 2? Well, that's what do you do?
And I think a punting situation for Albemarle.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer right there. You pretty much have to do that. It's early in the game.
West Stanley has had 4 drives in this game, and they have scored touchdowns on 3 of them.
They've been explosive on offense, no doubt.
Albemarle has not had the ball a lot. A late sub coming on.
Yeah, have a little trouble getting the groove going here.
Oh, he faked the snap. It's a fake punt, and he's got a first down and a whole lot more. Antonio Burns.
Wow, that's sneaky.
That's
sneaky.
What a gutsy call by the Bulldogs, and it paid off.
First down brought to you by East Coast.
Kudos to Coach Davis on that gutsy Ron Rivera.
Riverboat Ron action right there.
Davis, maybe
down to the West 45-yard line, 29-yard gain.
Wow.
And not even a hint of trying to punt that thing. He had that and was out of there. And again, that's the speed of this Bulldogs team. This Bulldogs team has speed to burn, and
so they have new life now, Charles.
And they can burn you. Yeah, that's absolutely. We'll see if it gives them a little momentum. 6:17 left in the first half.
I think that's exactly, Charles, what they needed. That play right there.
3 wide receivers this time. We'll give to Julius Smith. Julius trying to turn the corner. Ooh, he does get right past 35, 30, still on his feet, still down the sideline. How in the world did he have any room to make that run down to the 20-yard line?
That was, I thought he was out of bounds.
I thought he was several times. He might have stepped out of bounds, but he tight-roped the sideline for sure.
I mean, that's excellent footwork.
A 25-yard run. I thought there was a player down. Jarrett Taylor was down momentarily. I think he was just tying his shoe, though, for West. So the Bulldogs threatening again.
Want to answer those Colts. You score a touchdown.
Maybe one of these games where whoever has the ball last.
Could be.
Oh, and this snap goes through, and it's still the ball is loose, and West Stanley has it. And that's a critical mistake. Travis Wilson, Johnny on the spot.
Turnover on the play, recovered by West Stanley.
First turnover of the game, Charles.
And turnovers are the one thing
that can turn a game.
That Albemarle or any team really needs to avoid, but certainly it kills the drive there. So with 6:02 left, West with their double wing set. Poole going to get the toss sweep. Pursued to the outside. He gets around it. First down and a whole lot more into Albemarle territory. Julius Smith saves a touchdown.
We're seeing explosive running tonight, aren't we, Charles?
Absolutely.
Poole, I mean, Poole and Julius.
And honestly, you can see why Jordan Poole is so well thought of by division. Why he has 4 Division I offers already, and he's only He's not a rising junior now. He's a junior, and he's not even going to be able to sign until next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious from our look at him, our first look at him this year. It's like, that young man plays.
He was terrific last year, and you could see he is improved by leaps and bounds.
Oh, definitely matured his running style. And
play action this time. Manshak rolls to his right.
Trouble.
Lines it up, and it's going to be, who's got it?
Wow.
Is it a catch?
Wow. Yes.
It is a catch. I don't know how in the world Will Barbie came up with that.
And number 15 was right on top.
Because Simon, it was a 50-50 ball, basically.
Yeah. Simon was, I mean, they did right.
They were right there on top of one another. First and 10 now in the red zone once again with 5:09 left. And West has not had to throw the ball much. That's only their second throw of the game, I believe. But they give two for 2 and 50 yards. That's in the kind of efficiency that works nicely. And now I believe we have a timeout called by West. And we will take one as well and be right back. Back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Stanley News and Press, Brian Carter, Carter Video Services. Don't forget full coverage of high school sports, including tonight's game, and as much sports as one human being can get on there. I'll do it at our website, thesnaponline.com. Play action once again. Manshak will throw towards the far corner, and it might be picked off. I think it is. It is. Julius Smith.
I think
it just got lifted about 8 foot in the air by Adrian Little.
Depending on how this game goes, it's like vying for Player of the Week.
Oh, well, there's several players that are vying for Player of the Week at this point. But he actually closed very well on that play.
First and 10.
Well, let's see if they can capitalize on that interception.
So possession changes hands with 4 minutes and 58 seconds. So the first set of turnovers in the game, a bad snap and a fumble, goes against Albemarle, but Albemarle dances around it, and they're going to take a timeout, and we will take one and be right back. We're back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Brian Carter. Mr. Carter, welcome back. Oh, that's Cotter. Never mind.
Cotter.
Mr. Cotter.
Well, if you're in Philadelphia, Carter would be Cotter.
It would be Cotter, wouldn't it?
Like what a.
And Burns will keep it this time, and got a great lead block, and he got tackled high and hard by number 4, Christian Boughton.
That looked like a
that was
head ring.
Very close to a head-on-head contact, but nothing happened.
I mean,
it was very close.
Didn't you hear it, Charlie? I heard it.
I heard some contact, but it wasn't as flush as it could have been.
Yeah.
Gain of 5 will bring up second down and 5. Albemarle's offensive line has shown some glimpses of brilliance in this game. They are going up against a little more size on the West Stanley side. But so far, they've been able to hold their own at points.
That is obvious, isn't it?
He's going to give it to Josh Smith on the jet sweep. He does. This time, nothing happening. And just as soon as you say that, big number 75. I don't have a 75 on the roster. We'll check who that is, but makes the tackle. And Josh is going to lose a yard back to the 24. And they'll bring up third down and 6. Josh and Julius Smith are two absolutely tremendous athletes.
Oh, yeah. I know their dad, and he's very proud. I know he's here.
Yeah.
Dion Smith, he's proud of the boys.
And, not only here, but on the track, in track as well.
Oh, absolutely.
They are tremendous. Burns rolls to his left. A little toss this time. Oh, dangerous. Looking for Josh Smith.
Almost
knocked away.
Intercepted by number 5.
Cole Carter. And almost sort of an afterthought pass as he just kind of sort of flipped it out there, and it's going to bring up another punting situation.
Yeah, 4th down, 3:20 to go in the second quarter. Or will it be a punt?
Well, you never know. I think we have a timeout. We'll take one and be right back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. We're back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Brian coughing all the time. Carter, it's another fake. Here he goes again, 25-30. Down the sideline, and he's going to spin. I thought he was going to go out of bounds, but he avoided 2 tacklers. Another fake punt.
I can't believe that. They did it again.
Bulldogs first down, brought to you by East Coast Wings and Grill.
Twice, Antonio Burns has faked a punt.
You think they'd be kind of on the lookout for that? But
you know what? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah.
Third time, you may just see West Stanley put 4 people on the side and say, "Try it now."
Try it now, yeah.
You see a lot of people though. There's a lot of talk about doing a little less punting than people do. Far sideline complete. Oh, nice job to get out of avoid the tackle for a first down and more. Great play that time by Malachi Baldwin.
Wow, right down to the 30-yard line.
And Baldwin gets down to the 31. 2 timeouts left for the Bulldogs. 2:55 left on it in this first half. Plenty of time. Three wide receivers, trips to the far side. They had 4 wide in their last formation. Burns goes to his left this time. Looks very comfortable out there. Almost picked off.
Ooh, big number 5.
Dangerous pass looking for Renarian Hall. And Carter had a shot at it, but it falls incomplete. And just to tell you a little background here, Brian, Antonio Burns is the starting quarterback this year, but he was throwing to last year's starting quarterback, Menarian Hall, who is now playing wide receiver.
Nice.
And I'll say for Burns, in just his second game as a varsity quarterback that I'm aware of, and I believe there's a holding penalty against the Bulldogs. So holding will bring the ball back. See where it's going to be spotted.
It's about the 40.
So it makes it now 1st and 19. Clock's 2:25 left. Again, the Bulldogs have 2 timeouts. And now I believe we have a delay of game or a timeout 1. Albemarle did call timeout. We'll take one and be right back. We're back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio and Brian Carter. 1st and 19 for the Bulldogs at the 40-yard line of West Stanley. Burns, he gets away from one would-be sack. He's got a man open, and it is incomplete. Josh Smith was open momentarily, but 2 Colts.
Dangerous pass.
I was, Bowden, and I believe, I can't see the number, 20-something. I believe it might have been 21, Austin Stoker. Broke that play up. That had touchdown written all over it until they came back and knocked it away. They actually turned it into a better interception opportunity.
I hear Sweet Caroline over there across.
I believe you do. That's the strains of the West Stanley band playing, entertaining the fans.
Sounding wonderful tonight.
Sound very good tonight. 2nd and 19 for the Bulldogs. Wideouts to either side. High snap, but he hands it off, and there's just no room.
And gets back to the line of scrimmage.
40 once again, Seth Eford. And I think you kind of want to get the clock rolling just a little bit, Brian, only from the standpoint of you don't want to give West a whole lot of time left in this half. Because Albemarle will get the football to start the third quarter.
Right. I was looking at the clock, and it's like 1:46 right now.
Right. So you want the clock running a little bit because the clock does stop to move the chains, and the Bulldogs do have one timeout left. 2 in the backfield this time. Almost another high snap. Ooh, a nice fake, and he will throw the far side. It is complete. It's going to be well short of the first down. I believe that was Gage Dennis on the catch.
Bulldog pass complete to Gage Dennis.
And Dennis down to the 34, brings up 4th and 13, and frankly, I don't see why Albemarle wouldn't go for it here. It's a good spot on the field to do it.
Yeah, and just take as much time as he can off the clock.
With a minute left.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, throw down deep. If you don't get it, that's fine. If you get it, that's good for Albemarle. And if you get intercepted, it almost works like a punt.
Oh, you see, they're taking your advice here. They're just
yeah, they're going to take as much time as they can and possibly take their last time out. And it looks like that might be exactly what they're doing. And it also gives Albemarle a little extra time to make a decision about what they want to do. So we'll take a timeout. Albemarle's last one in the first half. So the Bulldogs will go for it on 4th down and if they need 13 yards. They need to get to about the 21-yard line.
I guess go for broke right here, wouldn't it?
2 wide receivers to the far, 1 to the near. Ooh, a little bit of a high snap.
They got speedy.
Ooh, he runs out of. Burns had to move up in the pocket, and now he's going to run out of real estate and just get buried out of bounds.
Uh-oh, we have some extra activity over here.
I think West Stanley was celebrating the play.
Okay.
But you have to be very careful in this day and age. So we'll go as a sack at the 36, and the ball will change hands with 26.3.
The way West Stanley's offense has been playing, there's plenty of time for them.
Well, it's enough time to give the ball to Jordan and see if he can break one, throw one deep.
Yeah.
There are several ways. You could go. May have to stop at East Coast Wings for some Korean flavor as well on the way home. Maybe next Sunday. Maybe I can catch the Dolphins game next Sunday. Trying to throw. It was Poole trying to throw. Now he's going to just keep it. He may get a first down out of this, but he's going to get caught from behind by, I believe, looked like Keyshawn Mouton.
Yeah, it could be our last play of the.
And before we have that, I believe West may have called a timeout.
So they get the timeout in.
I believe they did. Gain of about 7 will bring up 2nd down and 3. And no, I'm not getting paid for any plug by East Coast Wings, of course. I just see people standing around me. East Coast is one of the new sponsors of Albemarle, so I just thought I would throw that out for whatever reason.
Well, just out of curiosity, since we got a little time here, we're not taking a break. Where is East Coast Wings?
How much time is left on the clock? I can't even. 8.3. Okay, and they called timeout. So there was more time on the clock than I actually thought there was. So this is going to be one of those go for broke plays that we'll take a quick look at the stats. West Stanley has run the ball very well in this game. 194 yards on 16 carries. Jordan Poole 145 on 9 carries. And Logan Little 6 carries, 49 yards with a touchdown. Poole has 2 touchdowns. Albemarle 18 carries, a net 92 yards. That includes losing 10 yards on that bad snap. Burns through the air, though, is 6 for 3 and 70 yards. So the passing game has looked much better this week for Albemarle. Going to toss it to Poole. Poole's just going to try to run this one. 50 and down to the 47. And that should do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the half.
So Poole will run out the clock as he has run 2 long runs in this game and helped establish a 20-13 halftime lead for West Stanley here at Albemarle's Football Stadium. We will be back with more to come on Stanley County Monday Night Football. He's Brian Carter. I'm Charles Curcio, and we are Stanley County Monday Night Football.
What am I going to learn?
Students will learn manual machining, computer applications, computer-aided machining, CAM, blueprint interpretation, advanced CNC equipment, basic and advanced machining operations, and precision.
What are my career choices?
This degree prepares individuals for employment as machining technicians in high-tech manufacturing, rapid prototyping, and rapid manufacturing industries, specialty machine shops, fabrication industries, and high-tech or emergent industries such as aerospace, aviation, medical, and renewable energy.
Why Stanley Community College?
At Stanley Community College, we feel that college is not the ultimate destination. It's a place of discoveries that equips you with knowledge and skills to journey on toward a rewarding and successful future. Call us today to schedule a campus tour or visit us at stanley.edu to learn more. Stanley Community College, we are changing lives.
What am I going to learn?
Students will learn scientific, artistic principles and hands-on fundamentals in all phases of professional imaging, hair design, chemical processes, skin care, nail care, multicultural practices, business, computer principles, product knowledge, and other selected topics. The curriculum provides a simulated salon environment that enables students to develop manipulative skills.
What are my career choices?
Graduates should qualify to sit for the State Board of Cosmetic Arts examination. Upon successfully passing this exam, graduates will be issued a license. Once licensed, students will be able to pursue employment opportunities in beauty salons and other related businesses.
Why Stanley Community College?
Here at Stanley Community College, we feel that college is not the ultimate destination. It's a place of discovery that equips you with knowledge and skills to journey on to a rewarding, successful future. Call us today to schedule a campus tour or visit us online at stanley.edu to learn more. At Stanley Community College, we are changing lives.
We're back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Stanley News and Press. Brian Carter, Carter Video Services.
Yeah, great to be back. For the second half, 2013.
We'll take a quick look at some halftime stats while we get a second here. Poole with 145 yards on 9 carries, 2 touchdowns, getting 16.1 per for West Stanley as a team. 16 carries, 194 yards. On the other side, Albemarle has 92 net yards on 18 carries. Julia Smith has the only touchdown. Burns leads 64 yards on 6 carries. Burns is 3 for 6 through the air for 70 yards. Manshak 2 for 3, 50 yards with 1 interception. We'll get a few other stats. First downs, 11-7 in favor of West. This kickoff is going to be taken right at the 30-yard line. Nice moves, got some room to the outside. He has a chance to break this. If he could get to the corner, he is gone. Julius Smith, see you later, and we are potentially tied again.
Wow, what a kickoff. What a kickoff return.
A 70-yard kickoff return.
Julius Smith, he's a star tonight.
There's an injured player. And there may be, and the flag is being waved off. There was a flag initially, but it is waved off. But there is a player down.
I didn't see that flag, Charles, but
I did not either. But if there's one person you don't want to kick to, I think Julius Smith is the one you don't want to kick to.
Yeah, because this is the result.
Because that's certainly a potential result.
We got a player down, can't catch the number. It is a Bulldog, I believe.
I believe it was either 15 or I believe it might have been Jaquavius Simon. I'm not 100% sure, though. He sort of came, he was walking off, and then he sort of dropped to one knee and then dropped all the way down. Brian, let's take a quick timeout, and we'll be back after we check on this injury. Well, you can see Jaquavius Simon was the injured player, and he is sort of holding his right side a little bit, like maybe even like a collarbone shoulder. Maybe like hit in the side, and even maybe rib cage. So we're sitting at 20-19, and let's see if Albemarle looks like they may be going for two here. No, they're actually going to kick. Okay, I got faked out for a second. Cuevas for the point after. Snap was a little high, gets it down. That kick is up. If it's straight, it's long enough. It's good, and we are tied at 20 on Stanley County Monday Night Football.
After the second half kick.
Back on Stanley County Monday Night Football, Charles Curcio, Stanley was impressed. Brian Carter Video Services. We're 16 seconds in, and we are tied at 20.
What a game, Charles. This is very competitive.
And before that, I believe Albemarle was offsides on the kickoff, and we will do this one over.
Yeah.
Well, last year was a close one, as if you recall, Brian, at West Stanley, that game went to overtime, where Albemarle scored first in overtime but did not get the two-point conversion, and then West walked off with a touchdown and two-point conversion to win that game 29-28. They were actually at one point down, I believe it was 22-6, if my memory serves me correctly.
I tell you, over the 19 years we've done this, it's hard to get.
Well, I just looked back at it, so that's the only reason that I honestly knew that. So I don't have that great of a memory either. And I'm far younger than you, so I'm sure I should be able to remember more things.
Was that a shot?
Of course it was a shot.
Okay, we're going to do this, try to do this again here.
So kicking off now from the 35. A low kick takes a sort of a Sunday hop right into 21's hands. He avoids one tackle. He's got some blocking on the right side. Gets by a couple more Bulldogs and is getting across midfield. And that was Austin Stoker with a good return. Is there a flag down? There may be a late hit on the sideline as well.
Yeah, on the far sideline.
And if that's the case, this is going to put the return into Bulldog territory, because he was knocked out of bounds right at the midfield stripe.
Yeah, let's check that penalty.
Oh, it's going to be an illegal block in the back against West. It's going to go the other direction. Only the third penalty of the game against West Stanley.
They've kept the penalties down.
This will put the ball at the 41. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Colts at the 41. Didn't really lose a lot on that return. .20 just underway here in the third quarter. Little goes off the left side, runs into the Albemarle line, and then goes no further. They might give him a yard to bring up 2nd and 9. Trying not to say Little up the middle too many times. You get the impression that both teams may be getting a little tired at the end of that first half, and because it is the first game and the second game for first for West, second for Albemarle, but also much hotter this week than it was previously. So that's going to play a factor on both teams.
And it's been a fast-paced game.
Poole off the right side and breaks a tackle, and look out. Trying to make some moves, will not get much further, but he will be deep into Bulldog territory to the 29.
Took 3 Bulldogs to bring him down. As number 28 loses his helmet.
Yeah, Malik Patterson was one of 3 Bulldogs trying to stop the Jordan Poole Express there.
The Jordan Poole Express, huh?
And that train had service right to the 29-yard line. And they'll mark it back actually at the 30. So it'll be 1st and 10 just inside the 30, as it were. You know, I like the way that they're running this offense with Poole coming off that little play action. No, it's just going to be a straight
quarterback
keeper. And Manshak finally gets stood up, and a flag comes flying in at the 24.
Yeah, it's getting a little hot down there.
Let's see what the penalty marker is. Face mask against Albemarle.
Feature toss time by Computer Vision of Albemarle, Little Togeau and Walmart. Thanks to these visitors for supporting Albemarle High School cheerleaders.
So if it's marked, depending on the spot it's marked from.
So you're walking it off, and
it looked like a 5-yard penalty, the 5-yard variety. Down to the 19, which should be good for a first down. It's more like the 20, but
as they move the chains, and the clock will stop with 10:09 to go in the 3rd quarter.
A little slower start to this. Well, not really slower. Slower to this drive necessarily. Poole up the middle this time. Whoa! Somebody got knocked backwards.
Sure.
I think Keyshawn Mouton,
number 53,
had Connor Tucker vertical.
Just knocked him on his backside.
Well, Poole will get 4 yards down to the 15. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6. West has been able to run between the tackles pretty effectively, but the play that has been so effective is Poole coming off of that outside wing-back set. And, you know, he's almost at full speed by the time he's getting around there. It's going to be to the up man, Little. Little's got a wide open hole straight up the middle inside the 10. Is going to be 1st and goal for West.
I think the offensive line has just been playing great for the Colts tonight.
I'm going to give them a lot of credit in this game, no question about it. Ball sitting at about the 7-yard line. 1st and goal. As you say, 3 minutes have gone by in this 3rd quarter. We're tied at 20. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns for the Bulldogs. And the Colts will get it 1st and goal now from the 7.
As the crowd gets into it.
Tried to give it to Poole. I don't know if that was a designed play or not, but he's going to cut back, leaps toward the end zone. Is he in? We're still waiting. There's the signal. Touchdown, West Stanley Colts. What a play by Jordan Manshak, the junior quarterback.
That was a Cam Newton move right there.
He absolutely created that on his own. He was in deep trouble. I think he turned around and Poole was not there necessarily. And if he wasn't supposed to do that, then it was a well-designed bootleg. And Manshak just made it happen.
Wow.
8:37 left in the 3rd. And they will go for 2 once again. As West Stanley has not attempted an extra point. Tight set once again. Little toss to Poole. Poole easily to the right side in for the 2-point conversion.
And just walked on in.
So it'll be 28-20, 8:37 left in the 3rd quarter.
Stanley 28, Albemarle 20.
28-20, the Colts lead, and now squib kickoff. Going to be taken by another. No, it's missed, and now that may be what West Stanley needs to do to cover those kickoffs, Brian, is because they've been having a little bit of a problem with it.
Yeah, they don't want to kick to Julius.
They certainly don't want to kick to Julius or Jaquavius Simon. Both have returned kickoffs for touchdowns.
So that was a pretty smart move.
West Stanley kickoff.
It'd almost be better just to kick the ball high and almost pooch kick it. Kick it high and let it, or even just out of bounds, because honestly, the 35 is not as bad as what those kickoff returns have meant to this game. You take those two away, and it's 28-7. First and 10 now for the Bulldogs from the 25, down 28-20. Fakes the jet sweep. No, tried to give to Julius, and just nothing happening. And a nice display there, sportsmanship by Ian Morgan, picking Julius up after that pretty rough tackle. Loss of 4 brings up second down and 14. Second and 14 now for Albemarle. Fakes to him. Now tries to come back to the other side and is able to try to get to the side. He cannot, though. What pursuit laterally on the outside. That was 21 again, Austin Stoker.
When the defense is really hyped up, they're getting,
He actually they're going to give him 3 yards out of that attempt. Was still going to be up 3rd and long, 3rd and 11. A situation that Albemarle does not want to find themselves in, or anyone for that matter, but it's something that Albemarle has talked about, especially defensively, trying to keep West in 3rd and long. 2 in the backfield this time. Fakes the give, rolls to his left, throws, and it's just behind his intended target.
Brings up 4th down.
Was looking for Minarian Hall, and he had Hall wide open and just threw it behind him. And honestly, I would say that's the first. I've seen Antonio throwing a couple of passes that were well defended and nearly interceptions. That may be one of the poorer throws he's made in this game, because that was just behind his target, who was wide open. West does not have anyone back to return the punt. Has plenty of contain on the outside, do not allow another fake punt, and the punt will take an Albemarle bounce and roll out of bounds, still giving West pretty good field position at the 41-yard line.
And 7 minutes and 5 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter.
West Stanley, 40-yard line. 1st and 10, West Stanley.
Neither team, Brian, has been up by more than one possession. And West Stanley has the chance to do just that should they score on this drive. And with the way that they've been able to move the football, you could see a long drive here just grinding this game to a halt.
Yeah, so this is where the Bulldog defense really needs to step up.
This is where the old Oak Tree defense, for the Albemarle fans, Albemarle will be exhorting that defense to try to get a stop. Manshak will roll, throws, looking for Poole. He's got him complete, 1st down and more. Still on his feet. Nice spin move across the 40, down to around the 36.
West Stanley pass.
Any excuse, BJ. You're not BJ. That's twice in 2 weeks I've called you BJ. And now we have a player down.
That's number 3.
And if it's Jordan Poole, that is a.
I guess he was a little slow to get up. And they had number 11.
Yeah, and so that collision between Evan Benson
pretty brutal.
Was pretty rotten. And rotten by rotten I mean brutal is probably a better word than rotten.
I mean, this is forgive me for saying, a real dog fight.
No pun intended, of course. So with dual timeouts, we'll take a quick timeout and be back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Back on Stanley County Monday Night Football, we actually had very briefly 3 players down. Evan Benson came off the field, and now you see Adrian Little coming off the field. The ankle looks a little sore. And Jordan Poole did get off under his own power as well. He is being examined right now. And it cannot be understated how important Jordan Poole is to West Stanley this season.
Yeah, they do not need to lose him.
He'll be replaced by number 5, Cole Carter at the wing. Going to be a toss to Little. Little trying to get around the side. 30, oh, baby, what a hit at the 30-yard line.
You could
Holy Moses, you could hear that one.
I'm surprised that's...
You could heard that one at Jalapenos. Good night. I'm sure that one echoed through the valley.
Wow.
Good heavens, what a shot.
I'm surprised they both got up.
Yeah. I'm glad to see everybody did get up, too.
Yes. So they'll be feeling that in the morning.
I'll be feeling that in a few minutes. In a few minutes. Gain of 7, maybe. McMark's checking in a long 2. Under 6 minutes left, third quarter. Going to give it to 15. He gets stood up. Hansen, that's Daniel Hansen. And he might have gotten back to the 25, or down to the 25, rather. Which would be enough for a first down, and it is. And the clock stops to move the chains. With 5:38 left.
Yeah, that's a very important defensive stand for the Bulldogs.
Poole still being attended to on the west sideline. Toss sweep this time. Well, lost part of his jersey. Still on his feet, gets through. Close to the end zone. He's going to be in for a touchdown. I don't see any flags. It is a touchdown. West Stanley Colts.
West Stanley rush. Good.
Unless
touchdown.
We're just waiting to see if there may have been a flag down. There was a sort of a slow on the.
Well, put the points on the board.
That was Cole Carter on the toss sweep with 5:04. 34-20 now. West Stanley.
And this could start to get out of hand for the Bulldogs.
It's 2 possessions now. Should they make this extra point, this 2-point conversion, it would be 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points just to tie. It would make it a 16-point advantage. Poole is back in. He gets the toss. Overruns one guy and runs into 2 more, but pushed them both just enough to get the ball across the plane for the 2-point conversion.
That looked like a Larry Zonka.
That was very much Larry Zonka. Cover the ball with both hands, put your shoulders down, and
go straight
just go straight ahead.
And mow the guy down, get the touchdown, extra 2-point conversion.
So 36-20, 5:04 left in the third quarter. We'll be back. So Poole goes out for injury for a few plays, comes back to convert the 2-point conversion, and the Colts now in the driver's seat, 36-20, and now a short squib kickoff that will be fallen on by Zion Truesdale around the 37.
West Stanley kickoff falling on at Albemarle on the 29-yard line.
PA announcer used your same phrase, falling on.
Yes.
Excuse me, 31.
They'll spot the ball around the 36. It looks more like the 36-yard line. The Bulldogs down 2 possessions now.
And time can
17 minutes of regulation left in this game. Snaps have been a little high. Hyatt gets the carry. Nice gain. Got some good blocking. Spins his way down to just short of the midfield stripe. And there's a fight breaking out behind the play. And it looked like it might have been Manari and Hall on one side, and I believe Jarrett Taylor, number 6, on the other side. And there was some major league pushing and shoving going on between those two players.
Yeah, starting this late in the game, tempers are starting to flare.
And tempers are getting a little short. It was all after the play was over. Ball is resting at the 49th, but let's see what comes out of this. As you can see, the head referee is speaking to Coach Brett Morton right now about the adjudication of this call. 36-20, West Stanley leads Albemarle.
Makes me want to get some clarification on the penalty.
There are 2 flags down, so I wonder if we have any ejections or disqualifications. We're waiting to see right now, and I believe the referee is coming over to Coach Davis for Albemarle to, is it will maybe the bearer of bad news. It looks like just the way he was coming over there. So there may be some disqualifications, not necessarily ejections, but disqualifications. But we'll wait and see.
Okay, I think we have a. Let's see.
Okay, here we go. Dead ball, a personal foul against West. Dead ball, personal foul against Albemarle. Both penalties offset, and there'll be a first down. And he made no signal as to ejections or disqualifications. So
we'll just take off where we look. Yeah.
So yeah. So the ball, if I'm not mistaken, that would be a dead ball foul after the play, or was it during the play? And that's, I think, what the discussion is right now. It will be first down for Albemarle at the 49, because it was all that action took place after the play. Oh, we have a moment here. West Stanley now has 284 rushing yards on only 25 carries. Manshak 3 of 4 through the air for 74 yards. On the other side, Albemarle is 21 carries, 104 yards, and 3 of 7 through the air. Poole is up to 178 yards on just 11 carries.
Now we'll get back to the action.
Split backs this time for the Bulldogs on 1st and 10 from the 49. Gets Hyatt, penalty marker. Oh, ball's loose. And I don't know who came up with it. I think Burns fell on it, but
let's check that flag.
Somebody was folded back like he was in the camel clutch, and he might have sprained an ankle. Might have gotten it looked like 42 Lawhon got his foot caught under a player, and then he got bent backwards.
He's a little gimpy.
Yeah, I think I can see why too. That was that play. That was no joke. Now let's see what the penalty marker is going to be. The penalty flags came out pretty fast.
It looks like Lawhon's got to come out for a play at least. Yeah. I guess he's going to try just to work it out.
Well, I think they're... did we ever get a signal for a penalty? I never did see anything. Okay, now we have illegal procedure against Albemarle declined. Dead ball. Oh, no, that's all. So it was illegal procedure declined. And it brings up second down and about 13. Smith trying to get to outside is going nowhere. Oh, was he taken down by the face mask? I did not
And the fans want to
The
face
fans
it.
were wanting that call. It was actually by the arm. It's just the way his head sort of whipped around. I lost track and didn't see if it had been.
On top of it, it looked almost like a face mask, but almost like a late hit out of bounds.
It brings up 3rd down now and long. 3rd and 18 now. He lost 5 yards on that play. Terrific pursuit on the left side of that West defense. Smith now darts his way through the line, now goes backwards, and he just is.
He's a hard man to take down. Yeah.
And did I see another flag come in? I'm not sure. That might have been a pom-pom I saw flying in the air. I don't know.
Or a divot in the grass.
It may have been a divot in the grass, too. It's true.
The 4th down.
So Smith loses 3 yards back to the 38. He got through the line, but then he tried to bounce it out to the outside. And he went backwards, and he did that, and Wes Stanley just pursued it too well.
And leaped over another.
I
was right on top of him. He's fun to watch.
And now, once again, no one back for Wes Stanley to return the punt that Burns is trying to put in the air, ostensibly.
Penalty marker on the field.
And now there is a delay of game against Albemarle, which will be another 5 yards. So it'll be 4th and 26, and this is a very short punt, is going to roll dead at the West Stanley 42.
So the West Stanley Colts will take over with 3:04 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Colts leading 36-20. Have really run the football well in this game.
They've pretty much taken over this 3rd quarter.
Poole is back in at the wingback position. Little up the middle goes absolutely nowhere. He is buried by Brandon Smith.
Now that's Bulldog defense stepping up.
Loss of 4 on the play brings up 2nd down and 14. And it's a play that Albemarle absolutely needed, but there's a player down.
I think that is Brandon Smith, number 56.
We'll take a quick timeout and be right back on Stanley County Monday Night Football.
Albemarle High School.
We're back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Stanley News and Press, Brian Carter Video Services. It was a delay of maybe 5 minutes, or not even 5 minutes, probably 3-4 minutes, and he just that looks like cramping right there. That's where they were stretching out his legs. And that's something that you see, Brian, very much early on in these games.
Yeah, early in the season, in the heat, and the action we've seen tonight. Yeah.
Manshak rolls to his left, little throw looking for Poole, incomplete. The throw was right at his shoelaces. That'll bring him 3rd down and 14. And we haven't talked about Manshak much. We did have that wonderful diving touchdown, but he's another quarterback, another Stanley quarterback this season, coming up from the JV team and getting his first start, or first starts, plural. And in his case, this is his first start at varsity. And all things being equal, he's done pretty well.
Oh yeah, I like what I see so far. I can't wait to throughout the season see what he does with this Colt offense.
I mean, he's 3 of 4. He does have the 1 interception, but that was a toss into the end zone. Poole off the right side. He will not get away from Adrian Little. No, he tried to out-wrestle the wrestler right there, and it just didn't work. It's
hard to do.
And Adrian took him down. Of course, I was privileged to have the opportunity to see Adrian compete for a state championship in Greensboro earlier this season. I was actually sitting on the mat not 15 feet away from him when he was competing. And I'll tell you what, if you want to find a sport that's like, you think football's intense, and it is, you want to go see wrestling. Wrestling is intense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't get all the props that it deserves, really.
Snap is good. It's going to be a low end-over-end kick that will take a west bounce, and it'll be fielded and covered down around the 26. And where the kicking game has yielded 2 touchdowns, the punts have not. And West has actually done a very good job of covering punts in this game with 1:35 left. Of course, they haven't had to punt but a few times. So that was West Stanley's 10th possession in this game. Albemarle has only had, this is their 7th possession. So just from that standpoint alone, West has just had the ball. I mean, time-wise, it was about even at the halftime, Brian, but you can just think that West Stanley, I think, has had the ball more in this third quarter.
Yeah, definitely have owned the ball.
Little toss this time is complete to Hyatt. Hyatt gets away from 2 tacklers, a 3rd tackler, a 4th tackler. Finally squirts through and got a first down. What a nice effort. Hyatt, a 160-pound, 5'8" junior.
That was tremendous effort, man. He was dancing through the line.
And he really had to make some West players miss, and he did. 3 wide receivers this time, 2 to the far side for 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 37 late in this third quarter. Bulldogs trail 36-20. Hyatt's going to get another carry. Nice fake on Jordan Poole. Got away from him momentarily and will get into West territory at the 45 for a first down.
I mean, Hyatt he wants it. I mean, you can see the effort, and he's not giving up.
Absolutely not. This game is far from over. Far from over. But Albemarle needs to get back on the scoreboard.
And we're approaching the end of the third quarter, a little under 40 seconds to go.
Flag flies in the air this time. Hyatt is wrapped up. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Actually, it looks like he might have lost a yard. But let's see what the penalty marker is. It's against Albemarle for, I believe, was it holding? Penalties are starting to mount, and as soon as as I can put this in, I'll let you know what that number is.
Yeah, we've had quite a bit of stoppage of play in this quarter.
It'll be 1st and 15 now. And a nice play there by Austin Stoker to give the flag to the side official here. 3 wide receivers to the near side. option draw, but just hung on to it too long, and Burns goes down, and he's still down. And that's going to be the final play in the third quarter.
The end of the third quarter with the score, West Stanley 35, Albemarle.
We will be back with more on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Back in Stanley County, Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Stanley News and Press. Brian Carter Video Services.
Yeah, it's been a great game, Charles. 35-20, and with the advantage to the Colts. And here we go.
Burns rolls to his right, runs out of real estate, and will be another sack as he was looking to pass on second down and 19. So back 2 yard loss of 2 back to the 44. 3rd and 21 now. West Stanley is in command of this game at this point. 2 scores is not impossible though with the speed of Albemarle. It's
a couple of
a couple of breakaway plays. Yeah. But that's why they always say like a 2-goal lead in hockey is the most dangerous because you get a little comfortable and you give up that 1 score and it's just a 1-goal game. 1 possession game could happen very quickly.
Well,
bad snap this time, and he picks it up and will lose more yards back to the 32, and it will bring up a punting situation.
Yeah, it can't happen with plays like that though.
A loss of 10 yards brings up 4th down and 31.
Brings up 4th down for the Bulldogs.
So we have some consideration. It'd be hard not to give it to one certain player, Brian, if this result should stay this way for our post-game show and our player of the week.
Stays that way. It's pretty obvious, and it'd be obvious to any of our viewers.
West does have 1 player back to try to return the kick from Burns. And Burns, that's a nice kick, actually, end over end. Going to be taken. Beautiful tackle by Julius Smith right on Austin Stoker. Oh, he dropped the football? No. They will say that it was down by contact. Oh, and that's a tough call there against the Bulldogs. That was very close. Well, they do have instant replay, Brian. If it's on YouTube, they can go back and look at it again.
Well, true.
And again, and again, and again. But we don't have it. Yes, I know what you mean.
That's true. I forget about that internet thing.
You forget about that internet. that fancy internet there.
Yeah, you can actually go back, stop, look at it.
That's right. So with 10 minutes and 52 seconds, Poole comes in motion. Straight up the middle, Little goes nowhere. That was Brandon Smith again. Give Albemarle credit. They have actually done a fairly good job of containing. Actually, they're going to mark a loss back a yard to the 34. So make it actually 2nd and 12. West taking as much of the new 40-second play clock as they can.
Oh, yeah, they're in no hurry.
Manshak will take it on the bootleg. Tries to get around Julius Smith. Smith will just usher him out of bounds.
And into the stands.
Maybe a gain of 3. It'll bring up 3rd and 9. Well, he didn't really usher him into the stands. I think it's just the momentum was carrying him in that direction.
Bulldog Nation is 3rd down.
So 3rd and 9 now.
Let's go.
At the 36. As time is starting to tempest fugit, as it were. Clock is stopped with 10:06 left in the 4th. Probably not what West wanted, really, for Manshak to go out of bounds. Fakes to Poole, now wants to throw to his right. He's got time. Throws over, back over the middle, complete to Brett Morton. Morgan gets by one defender and gets buried at the 39-yard line.
I think it was number 81.
And that would be Corey Ellis. Brett Morgan has stepped up as a target for Manchac in this game from his tight end position. 1st and 10 now at the Albemarle 39. That's Morgan's second catch for 43 yards. Manchac's now 4 for 6 for 99 yards. Poole again comes in motion. He will get the give. Tries to go off tackle. Adrian Little says no and slams him to the ground.
Oh, and Poole's
and
like...
Poole just pulls at his legs immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that was a
gain of maybe 1.
Definitely felt that. And he's going to come out for a play. Clock continues to run with 9:27 left in the contest.
West taking their time. Gonna give it to Hansen. And Hansen tripped up. I think he got tripped on his own. Maybe it looked like his ankle almost gave out a little bit. Just a little slip on the dew that might be settling on that turf. And before we continue, we have another flag.
We didn't have a lot of penalties in the first half, and they're just starting mounting out.
Albemarle has had a lot, though. Oh, it's a personal foul. A shot to the head, I believe. Personal foul, 15 yards, and that will be a first down.
Against Albemarle. First down, West End.
We'll put the ball at the 24-yard line. That is the 11th penalty against the Bulldogs for 85 yards in this game. West only 3 penalties in this game. They have played a clean game. Little will not get out of the grasp of Jalukas Hyatt.
Nice tackle by Hyatt.
A loss of 6 on the play. And West will take a timeout, and we'll take one as well and be right back.
And 3.
Back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Stanley News and Press. Brian Carter, Carter Video Services. 2nd down and 16 for the Colts. Manchac just got shoved at by Smith. He gets away and pass is almost picked off. Julius Smith had a good shot at it, but that was sort of an odd play in the fact that Manchac took a shove but didn't go down.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to follow.
He just kept continuing.
Bulldog Nation, it's 3rd down.
Third and 16. Give is to number 5, Carter. Carter is buried. Whew. The physicality of this game has not decreased 1 iota.
I think that was Hyatt again, wasn't it?
I believe it was. I think it was Hyatt. Like the hotel, not Hyde like the okay, yeah, Hyde, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. That's a book, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Let's see.
So West Stanley is going to go for it on 4th down. Interesting choice here. The punt's not going to do much. But giving Albemarle a clean stop on 4th down might be a momentum builder. And now West Stanley will take another timeout, and we will take one and be right back. So 4th down and 15 for the Colts at the Albemarle 29.
Make some noise.
Manshak looks to throw to Morgan, and he's got him. 1st and goal at the 8-yard. No, it's incomplete. Oh, he had it momentarily, but dropped it. And give credit, I believe. I think credit goes to number 28. That's Malik Patterson. Patterson knocked it out of there.
Wow, great defensive play.
So as the ball changes hands with 7:28. Hard to see around the cement walls here.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs 7 minutes 28 seconds left in regulation, down 36-20. They have I think they have their timeouts, but will have to go to the air almost exclusively, one would think. First and 10 for the Bulldogs. Play action, and oh, wow!
Holy smoke.
Absolutely, Burns is absolutely buried by number 75.
That surely didn't feel too good.
A loss of 9 on the play brings up 2nd and 19 with the clock running. And it was a play action, but West Stanley just, I thought, brought a little inside pressure, and he came through unblocked. Going to roll to his left this time. Still more pressure. Gets away from it. 23rd. There's a flag down. And, ooh, he took a shot, a low shot. He's almost coming up a little.
Penalty marker on the field.
A little gimpy from the legs. And it will be a hold against Albemarle. So he got 5 yards on the scramble, but they will lose that.
He looks a little dazed.
Well, he took a pretty good wallop.
Getting instructions from the sideline, Coach Davis.
So it'll be marked to the 19. Unless the penalty was declined, what I believe it may have been. It was declined. We'll bring up 3rd down and 14.
This is critical right here.
Another blitz up the middle. Little swing pass is complete to Hyatt. Hyatt gets away from one and does not get away from Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole delivered a suplex there.
He's just all over the place.
Just a big tackle, big open field tackle. And it brings up 4th down and about 7.
Brings up 4th down.
And Albemarle looks like they may be going into punt formation. West Stanley does not have anyone back. They've seen this. They've seen this show before.
Yeah.
And may not want to risk.
And they punt it away.
And they will punt it away. A beautiful long punt.
Kick.
Take a big old bounce and roll dead at the 15-yard line.
Great punt.
.5:19 left in regulation. Time is becoming a little short now for the Bulldogs. A couple of first downs for the Colts, and this game will be in the books. First and 10 now for the Colts from the 15. I swear I heard a siren or something. I don't know what.
Well, there's an ambulance.
Oh, okay. The ambulance might. Oh, okay.
By the scoreboard.
Gotcha. That's what. Okay. Little will sort of crumple down with a yard loss and bring up second down and 11.
I wonder if we have a situation in the stands. So it's not one of the players.
I do see now what you're saying. Here comes the EMS. Well, there always is usually one of the EMS vehicles at the games. Usually you don't hear the sirens. That's why it sounded like their siren when they.
Yeah, I wonder if
so
it's
there
one
may
of the fans.
Maybe could be for a fan. We know of situations like that.
I remember Elkin. Yeah.
We'll tell you that story more in just a moment. Second down and 11. I believe, I can't remember what year it was, maybe 04?
Yeah, Big Play Ray was with us.
Big Play Ray. Oh, Lord have mercy. Poole off the right side, and he's going to go down in the arms of... the ball came out. Did he lateral that to Brett Morton?
No, the ball came out.
Oh, it just came out, and Morgan advanced it. What a heads-up play.
And the fans are loving it.
I believe so, and then he fumbled it. Brett Morgan picked it up and kept on rolling.
Good for a first down.
And they'll say he stepped out of bounds at the West 49, but it's good enough for a first down. That's a crazy play. And one of those plays that when you know that when things are just going right for you.
That was not designed like that.
No, certainly not. Under 4 minutes now, and more penalties. Penalties have started to rack up in this game.
Penalty against West Stanley.
This one is against West. Only West's fourth penalty in the game. Albemarle has 11 penalties for 85 yards. Poole is not in the game now. And before we have another flag. And let's see what this is.
Dragging this game out.
This is going to be against Albemarle for encroachment, I believe.
Yeah, I think offsides.
So the penalty markers give and the penalty markers take away.
Take it.
I don't know why. It looked for a second that they were going to spot that thing on the 50, and I counted 6 yards, but, I took math a long time ago. So it'll be first and 10 back at the original line of scrimmage. Manchak wants to throw. Hyatt coming from behind. A good job, I guess, to get rid of it. But he actually, that ball had a little bit of a chance of being intercepted. If you're going to throw that one away, you've got to sail that one out of bounds, or at least out of bounds with a wide receiver somewhere in the vicinity. Clock stopped with 2:43 left in this game. West Stanley in control, 36-20. Just trying to salt this game away. Toss sweep to Little. Little cuts up the middle, and Adrian Little. Adrian Little just said hello to Logan Little. In no small way, neither. Think about that one for a while. Don't do it, Brian. You might hurt your head. I know. It'll be third down and 9. 19 years.
It's unbelievable. The years start to scare you after a while, don't they?
They add up. They add up.
But we're still here, and we enjoy doing Monday Night Football for Stanley
And we will be
Community
back
College.
next week.
What, here?
No, not here. I believe we'll be at West next week, if I'm not mistaken, but I'll have to check schedule.
Oh,
that's a big tackle by Julius Smith on Jarrett Taylor.
I think it was a little high, almost a horse collar.
Timeout, Bulldogs.
We have another timeout.
Albemarle will take timeout, and we'll take a quick one and be right back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Charles Curcio, Stanley News and Press. Brian Carter, Carter Video Services. West Stanley looks to punt and will sort of off the side of his foot. There's a penalty marker as well. Ball will roll out of bounds at the 38, but let's see what the penalty marker is. Illegal procedure against West Stanley, and it will be declined. So Albemarle gets the ball back with 1:40 left, needing 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions. If you have any long passes, this is going to be the time for Albemarle to bring him out of the box.
Your Albemarle High School cheerleaders.
And the cheerleaders doing a darn good job out there.
They absolutely, both sides of cheerleaders actually. And very much unsung heroes parts of the game. Hyatt's going to get the carry, and he will get close to the 40. He'll make it for a gain of about 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Clock running with 1:25 to go.
Hyatt has been a bright spot tonight for Albemarle.
Oh, and Julius Smith.
Julius Smith has just been Julius Smith, and Josh as well. But
if we could give.
Oh, absolutely. They've played. They've put in a lot of work in this game and deserve credit, no question about it. Just Jordan Poole and that offensive line for West have just dominated, especially in the second half. Somebody's helmet just came flying off. As that time that was 23, Damian Polk on the carry.
That's number 28. This is twice he's had problems with his helmet.
Gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Clock is stopped with 47.5 seconds left. And Albemarle may take we have an official timeout.
Yeah, it seems like the crowd's kind of thinning out a bit.
Little gets the carry. Oh, he got hit sort of high as well. I saw his head just sort of jerk back as he was running past a player.
And we're just under 25 seconds to go. Looks like this one's going to be on the books, Charles.
4th and 6. May have to have one more. Let's see if Albemarle chooses to run a play. They will not. It's a final score here tonight at the Albemarle Football Stadium. West Stanley has won 6 in a row over Albemarle, including tonight, with a final score 36-20. Colts over the Bulldogs. We'll be back with the postgame show on Stanley County Monday Night Football.
We're back on Stanley County Monday Night Football. This is our post-game show, and it's sort of no surprise who our player of the week is this week. Of course, Jordan Poole with those big touchdown runs in the first half and big running numbers tonight for the Colts. Talk a little bit first about your offensive line and the job they did kind of working in front of you.
My offensive line was a big part of basically all my runs tonight. We've been working on it, hitting it hard all summer. We've really been in the weight room trying to improve, get a little faster off the line, and you can tell it's showing. And without them, none of the touchdowns would happen. So very thankful for them and the way they performed tonight.
And the scheme really helps, too, when you're able to get sort of full speed up around the end. Talk a little bit about that. That must feel terrific just to be almost at full speed when you get closer to the line like that.
I've been working on that a lot this summer, especially in the weight room, trying to improve my burst and my fast twitch a little bit, so it's starting to show on the field a little bit, but I still need some work on a little bit more. Sure. Work on finishing out a little bit better.
But I think you yourself could even say that you've seen improvement in yourself from last year to this year, just right in this first game.
Most definitely. Been focusing a lot. I can tell this year I'm a much more mature player, I would say, and I've been working on getting a little bigger, and it's starting to pay off for sure, and staying the same speed, or if not faster. So.
And let's talk a little bit defensively. Only the one touchdown on defense, the other two, of course, coming from special teams. What did you think about your team's defense tonight?
Our team's defense was pretty good. We for sure got some things to work on, most definitely. For sure, a couple of big plays they shouldn't have had, but first game, and we'll definitely get it figured out for next week.
It must have been a little weird to have Albemarle as your first game too, just because you didn't ever get to play that game last week. But the nerves seemed to kind of erode quickly when you broke that first touchdown. Would you say that kind of got your teams into the game?
Oh yes, sir. You can't start a winning season without a win. I knew that, so
I like that.
So I had to go out there and do what my coach preaches and know what I can do, and so it has to get us rolling.
Thanks very much, Jordan Poole, our Player of the Week on Stanley County Monday Night Football. Back on the postgame show on Stanley County Monday Night Football with West Stanley head coach Brett Morton. Coach, offensively, just the one touchdown on offense. Talk a little bit. That you gave up. On defense. I said that backwards. Let's talk defense first, and just what your thoughts were about your team's defense tonight.
They played tough. They played pretty well assignment football. Number 8 for Albemarle, he's a special player, keeping them contained, but I thought our guys did a good job. We rallied to the ball, especially in the second half, holding them down. So defensively, there's mistakes to correct, but overall we came out of the gate pretty well tonight.
And then offensive line was really strong. Poole did what Poole can do, but he needed that front five to kind of break the holes open for him, and along with Little as well, I thought was impressive as well on the ground game.
Yeah, They gave us a front that we were comfortable blocking, and then we executed it pretty well in the first half. Now, they made some adjustments in the second half that we've got to get better at, but they came out strong. We're a little more comfortable at this point with the offense than this point last year, so it was good to get rolling, but we made a lot of mistakes.
What's your overall assessment of this game in terms of first game, not having to play a county rival your first game? When you start as strongly as you did, that has to sort of ease things just a little bit.
Maybe it's we're in it. I see good, bad. There's mistakes to correct. There's a lot of things that went right tonight. There's things that went wrong. So there's always corrections that are going to have to be made. But Albemarle is always a tough game. They play us well, especially right here at the beginning of the season. It's always a good early game for us. So I think we got some good film out of this to know where we're at, and they'll be all right going down the road.
Thank you very much, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment. So West Stanley makes it 6 in a row overall in the series, winning the 43rd matchup against the Albemarle Bulldogs here at Albemarle Stadium. 36-20 was our final. Jordan Poole, very impressive. Manshak, very impressive as well at quarterback. And defensively, the Colts looked pretty strong, I thought, against Albemarle. Those two, but Albemarle shows a lot of speed and a lot of heart, and stayed in this game into the third quarter, especially opening with that second kickoff return for a touchdown. We will see you again next week. Don't forget to find coverage of tonight's game and all the sports in Stanley County on thesnaponline.com. For my partner, Brian Carter of Carter Video Services, I'm Charles Curcio, Stanley News and Press. We'll see you next week.
Football is a 20th century technological struggle.
And what I seen was this whole raft of people a-setting on these two banks and looking at one another across this pretty little green cow pasture.
Football has hitting, clipping, spearing, blocking, piling on, late hitting, unnecessary roughness, and personal foul.